A long, long time ago, I started work on a website that was a collaboration project with Bogleach of bogleach.com. This website was burger.com, burgrr.com. Yeah, it was basically a fast food website based on a premise that Bogleach had created previously of this Harmburger character, and sort of this dimension where things are all kind of just vaguely wrong, or actually not just vaguely wrong, incredibly wrong. And yeah, so every so often, uh, burger.com comes up. I see it mentioned, or it's mentioned to me, or different things like that. It basically became a really popular ARG kind of thing, where people were checking back on the site to see changes, checking back to put in like secret codes, different stuff like that. It was a pretty big deal back in the classic creepypasta days, I guess you would say. I don't know. But yeah, so this comes up time and again, and people ask, well, whatever happened to burger.com? Or people say false information about what happened to burger.com. So I figured I'd make a video kind of explaining that. This is sort of like a historical lesson. This is a look into the past of creepypasta and one of its probably more popular website ARGs. Not the most popular, but one of the more popular ones. So yeah, let's take a look at burger.com. Okay. Burger.com was based on a premise I had previously had called McZeds. There's a game called Urban Dead, and Urban Dead is a browser-based zombie game. And what people did was they just created a bunch of lore around the game. Like they would create their own groups, like their teams, their guilds. They would have like little battles back and forth. They would have arguments and debates, and essentially it was like people getting really way, way, way too involved in a basic text game in their browsers. So yeah, one of my groups on this was McZeds. McZeds was a fast food chain that used zombie meat to make, fast food. Basically, being that zombies were plentiful and it's the apocalypse, and what do you want? Eat your zombie burger. So yeah, this was a page that I wrote up on the Urban Dead wiki about the group. Very satirical, hopefully funny, I don't know. Other people have edited it over the years, so some people have kind of like ruined it a little bit with like a bunch of extraneous random information. Because I bowed out of it, maybe like 2007, 2008, maybe even 2005. I don't know, Jesus Christ. But yeah, as you can see, McZeds is a wiki page about a fast food chain, and you can see I wrote up a menu. Other people have added some things to it that I wouldn't really approve of. But whatever. Yeah, so I wrote up a menu. I wrote up a description of the fast food company, company information, testimonials from people, which again, people added their own testimonials that aren't, it's funny. But yeah, kids compound for things for children to do. I drew the zombie Uncle Malty, and made this stupid maze. Pixel art, some of my old pixel art before I really knew what the fuck I was doing. About a video game. McZed's video game for like a Nintendo type thing. As you can see down in the bottom right corner, it says copyright CH Wolf. I'm glad I thought to do that, because I'd have no way to prove I made it by now if I hadn't done that. But yeah, employee information, different things like that. So as you can see, this is a big old mess of lore around a fake fast food company. Now, basically what happened was I was on bogleach.com. I was posting creepypastas on the forum. I sort of was making like a small group of acquaintances there. I wouldn't necessarily say friends, but, people I knew of. This was around the same time like Cosby Daff was posting Godzilla NES to the thing I think I mentioned in a previous video. So yeah, it was like a pretty interesting time to be in the creepypasta circles. Interesting time to be on the forums, on the websites, different things like that. So yeah, I joined Bogleach and I talked to the guy who runs bogleach.com about possibly starting an ARG website. Now I'll show up the email up here that I started with. Another possible Halloween thing. This is in July of 2013. Holy shit, that's a long time ago. Basically, on bogleach.com, what Bogleach does is he puts up a lot of stuff for Halloween. That's like his big time of the year, puts up a lot of content. So I came up with an idea, and I pitched it to him. I said, do you have a human name for the restaurant chain Hamburger represents? Remember, at this point, only Hamburger existed, to my knowledge. It was just the one hamburger character. The cute icon with the alien letters, etc. We could theoretically set up a fake website for the company with a few horror/humor elements, then actually sell t-shirts with that icon in the store's merchandise area. We could put photoshopped mugs, etc., and have them marked sold out with the shirts available. The site itself could be hidden in a story segment or even just be one of the Days of Halloween updates. So as you can see, Burger.com was my idea. Why is this important? Well, we have a page here on the history of Awful Hospital, which is a webcomic posted to bogleach.com, which builds off of the Burger sort of ARG into something new. Here we have a segment within that history of Awful Hospital that I'd like to read out to you, keeping in mind that I pitched this idea to Bogleach. Okay? Anyway, I get asked about this most of all, so we'll have to talk at least a little bit about Burger.com. It was 2013. In my mind, the most numerically significant year Halloween would ever have until 2031, and I wanted to do something really special. Creepypasta author Chris Wolfe, name spelled incorrectly, also known as Slimebeast, had long wanted to collaborate on some big project of some kind, but neither of us were sure what. Both of us wanted to collaborate with each other, it wasn't just me, and I sent him many ideas of what we could collaborate on. He just, never had, the time or interest, which is fine. But, it's not like I was hot to collaborate with him, but neither of us had any ideas. We both wanted to collaborate, and I had plenty of ideas. But here's where we get to the troublesome part. And I eventually posited an idea to expand on whatever the heck I was getting at in the hamburger story. That's not true at all. This is actually fake news. Hashtag fake news. First of all, I posited the idea because I, as you can see, sent him the idea. So yeah, this is stuff that comes up. This is what comes up from time to time. People deny that I did any work on the website. Really, people say that Bogleach did the majority of work. People say it was his idea, so on and so forth. It is not his idea. He did not do the bulk of the work on the website, and so on and so forth. In fact, we actually can take a look at the website. But first, I'd like to just go down here. That's a great idea from Bogleach. I wouldn't show this, but he's saying that he came up with it and he didn't. All right, so this is from me to him in the second reply. Now there's a big, as you can see by the scroll bar on the side, there's a big conversation about what we want to do with the site. Me, mostly putting out ideas. I don't know what ideas he came up with. I would have to read through again. But I was basically saying you could draw this, you could draw that, you could do this, you could do that. So here's my reply to him, his first response to me. Here is the main part of what we want to discuss here. This is me talking about ideas for the site. Main mascot, which is Hamburger. A group of 4 or 5 of his friends. So, Grinding Chuck, Barbecue Girl, Tum Tum, things like that that Bogleach later came up with after I said this. He drew those later and sent them to me. Anti-mascot, i.e. Hamburglar, wasn't used. Anonymous horde in the vein of McNuggets or Fry Guys, which became the Meaties, which I named. He drew those. He came up with those after I suggested it. Then we can look at the placemats and such for entertainment material, downloadable coloring PDFs, solvable maze, printable cutout masks. Basically I was just throwing out ideas here. And I even came up with the name Burger.com. I paid to register Burger.com. I hosted Burger.com on my own website. I don't know how much more integral to this project I could have been, and yet here we have me just being completely erased and saying I posited the idea from Bogleach. Yeah. I'm a little bit bent out of shape because when you try to take away my agency, take away my involvement with creative work I did, it makes me a little bit irked. So you'll have to forgive me. I'm not. This is like old beef. This is like old news. Again, this is from years and years ago. So I'm not really mad at Bogleach about it. I think it's kind of sad that he's done certain things. But it's not like a big beef. It's not like a big rage thing. So I'm not really, this is just basically to clear the air. I don't want anybody to get a mistaken idea. But yeah, let's look at the website. Burger. This was burger.com. You can actually find this on my website at slimebeast.com/burger, but burger is spelled correctly. This is where it's always been hosted. This isn't a re-upload or anything. It was always hosted on my own website on slimebeast.com/burger, again spelled correctly. But when I bought burger.com, I just redirected it to this page on my own website. So this has always been here. It's never actually been down, but just the domain name, which I didn't want to pay for myself for his project. But yeah, so let's look at the front page here. We've got the logo that changes from a wink to an open eye. By the way, I should start out by saying I designed and coded this entire website. The layout is mine. Now, the layout is purposefully garish and bad because it's supposed to be like an off kind of, restaurant chain. So I will say it's not the most best-looking website. It's kind of really eye-burning. But, yeah, so the design is all mine. The code is all mine. The concept is mine. The writing is mine. There's one page on here that Bogleach wrote, and then, of course, there's his story, which is hidden in the site. So everything other than that, I wrote. Did you have something today? Open your saliva mouth and welcome to our humble web establishment. Again, my writing. All this stuff here written by me. This photograph, this is actually a vegetarian hamburger. Because little known fact, I don't eat meat. So this is a vegetarian hamburger on a Klondike bar wrapper with a bunch of gross stuff put on it and made to look gross. I dented in the hamburger bun with my finger. Took a piece out of it, and I printed out a black and white version of the logo onto a paper bag, ran the ink with it, used like water on it to make it look really gross, folded the bag up, crumpled it, and put a bolt next to it, and took this photo. Yeah, that was my dedication to this collaborative project that I was later had it posted that I didn't even come up with it. But yeah, took that photo, posted it up, used Illustrator to put in the stupid splash page kind of shit. But yeah, just a little interesting thing is that that's actually on a Klondike bar wrapper because I didn't have anything that would look like a burger wrapper in my house. But yeah, we got the blinking dude again. I put that in. The banner up top was made by Bogleach. The cycling images of meat. Of course, you'll notice Bogleach's artwork. Like those were drawn by him. I'm not saying he didn't do anything. He drew these characters. I put them on the site. I made it so that when you reload, there's a different meaty and a different message. In fact, we'll reload here. Different meaty, different message. Reload again. Different meaty, different message. So yeah. I made this bottom banner here. This is Bogleach's artwork. We're not going to go through everything I made versus everything he made, because that would be a lot of fucking stuff. There's a lot of things here. Food with us, like this. I think he came up with the map with Australia not in red for some reason. Like to be funny. But my thing was, we should put a map, showing locations, and we should have locations. And I wrote up the locations. I'm, just giving you like an example. If you look here, you'll see something that might look familiar. Do you see this menu here? I wonder where we've seen that before. There's the McZed's menu. there's the burger menu. Yeah, same thing, just with the text swapped out. But yeah, as I said, I'm not going to go through everything I did versus everything he did, because that would be just a long-ass time. Essentially, if you see it on this website, I wrote it, except for one page. Let's go to the page now. I made these graphs. Jonathan, of course, Bogleach, of course, drew these artwork guys. But yeah, the sincerest promise. This is the page that Jonathan wrote. I keep calling him Jonathan. I'm trying not to. This is the page that Bogleach wrote. That's it. every other page on the site I wrote and created. I made actual forms that you can submit to apply for work and for filing complaints. Here's the work one. Wrote all the options, wrote all of this out. And yeah, so I don't know what else I can get at here. There were hidden pages. One of the hidden pages is Meat Wars. You could click here to do Meat Wars. Now, of course, this doesn't work anymore because I took it down because it was an actual game. That's right. One of the secret things was a Dope Wars-inspired text-based browser game that I put up. It was based on pre-existing code, but I changed out all the drug names for meat names. I changed out all the random events, wrote up new random events about the rise and fall of meat prices. Essentially went in and edited, hard code edited, the PHP and MySQL script to reframe the entire thing, redesign it. Another hidden thing, we have smileys, emoticons. I, of course, drew these in pixel art. Big fucking ton of pixel art here. Big ton of icons here. And what do you know? At the bottom here, we have an ad. We have an ad for Gristle Command, a fast food-based game for like a Nintendo-type platform. Again, where have we seen that before? Oh yeah, on the McZed's page. For McZed's Land. So yeah, this actually, I think the pixel art at least looks a bit better than the original thing for the other page. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. I don't know what else to say. I made this banner up top here. Hunger? Search for the taste. It's somewhere, and it has my picture of the burger on like a weird medieval floor for some reason. But yeah, I don't know. There's another hidden thing here. This used to be like a thing where you could create like scenes by dragging images of the cast of characters and text. So you could make like a little webcomic type scene. The images are broken for some reason. I don't really care. Again, using code that was pre-existing code with edits, I made it so you could drag shit around. What else do we got? Here's a coupon page, another secret hidden page. Bogleach made the coupons. I made the I arranged them, I guess I should say, with snip and snave, only some per customer, or costumer, sorry. But yeah, essentially I put a lot of fucking work into this thing. Now here we have where the Bogleach entries are, the burger entries. Now these are the parts of the story that Bogleach wrote. So this is another case of where he wrote, content for the site. As you can see, if you scroll down on the secret pages, you see the entries, that he has written. So we've got the burger story, the story that you're familiar with, and the corporate sincerest promise page are the only two things that were written by Bogleach on this page, on this entire site. And of course he did the really great artwork. It's really cool. Trying to think now. More stuff I wrote. Fucking... What else is there? Oh yeah, the store I set up. All profits going to Bogleach. I didn't ask for any money out of this. Anybody who bought t-shirts on the site, these were actual t-shirts you could really purchase from the fake fast food company. Didn't want a cut of that. Didn't ask for a cut of that. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about this. Now, Bogleach and I, you may say, why is it that he has sort of cut me out of certain things? Why is it that it's like he's saying that he had the idea for the site? In other places, it's been said that I didn't really do much for the site, that it was all him. Why have I been cut out of that? Well, it's because I posted a joke on Tumblr. That's right. I posted a joke on Tumblr. He and some of his fans didn't like it because they thought it was sexist, and I was excommunicated. Bogleach told them to stop backing me on Patreon. Different stuff like that. Called a monster, called a piece of shit, so on and so forth, because of this one joke. Now, further lies state that, well, the reason, we don't know what happened, Slime Beast. You just started attacking people. What happened was I posted this to nobody on my own blog, and that was counted as attacking people. So when you hear that I was going after people, that's what they're talking about. Because what happened was people replied to this saying I was a monster and I was evil and so forth, and I just basically replied back saying, "Oh, fuck you." And so that makes me attacking them by having a different opinion. So yeah, let's read some of this. This is back in the 2010s, since we're coming up to the 2020s right now, the early 2010s, I guess. I don't know. This was during a time when there was like a height of all this drama around this Gamergate shit. And I said in this post, both sides are kind of weird. I don't really know why people act that way. I fall more on the Gamergate side of things in that I think that we shouldn't have censorship of games and we shouldn't have people shaming game makers. If you want to make a game with a bunch of half-naked women in it, do it. If you want to make a game with a bunch of half-naked men in it, do it. You know, do what you want. Create your own artwork. It doesn't matter what people say. So to that end, I wrote this comedic, in my mind, post. So I have a note here. Now, this post was based on, or it was inspired by, a video that came out like within days of when I post this. It was called 25 Invisible Benefits of Gaming While Male, or something like that. And it was basically saying stuff like, as a male, you'll never be insulted, or, you know, just not literally that, but like stupid stuff. So I made this and I said, this is written to be just as dishonest and illogical as the video, while still sounding as if it could be true. Keep this in mind, because if you address this list as if I'm trying to make legitimate points, you've already face-planted. So what I'm saying in this note is, I'm writing this to kind of highlight how stupid that video was. I'm not actually making these points. These are facetious points to ridicule the video. Now, if you look at these are obviously jokes. Number 4, I will never have to deal with insults about the size of my penis. As a female gamer, nobody's going to say you have a small dick. You know, it just is... It's obvious that I'm just trying to highlight that you can say basically anything. Unlike male gamers, I am never required to play an ugly, brutish character. That's just a reversal of, as a female player, I'm required to play beautiful characters that are half naked. You know, I'm just flipping the script on this just to show how dumb it is to have these arguments. Now, number 24 is the important one. As a female, I don't have to ask other players for photographs of their naughty bits. They simply arrive to me on a silver platter. In other words, men have to beg for nudes, but women get free dick pics. That's unfair. How can you take that as legitimate? How can you take that as a real statement? That's an obvious joke. But Bogleach and his buddies took that as a real statement and said it was not a joke, and said that I was complaining that women don't send enough nudes and they should be happy to get dick pics. And that's why Burger.com died. That's why I've been written out of it as if I didn't take part in it, even though I created the original fucking thing in 2005. Yeah. Because of a hot take, because of a joke that they didn't like. Pretty nice, isn't it? I don't know how much more work I could have done on this project. This project was a labor of love for me in order to help a friend have something interesting for his Halloween update for his website. And that's what happened as a result of all this. So yeah, I don't know what else to tell you guys. I can make these emails fully available if anybody wants to debate me on whether or not this is true. I'm not going to do that right now, just in the interest of privacy, but if it's questioned, I'm going to have no choice but to show proof of what happened. Yeah. So Bogleach created a lot for the website. He drew some really great artwork. He wrote a story, and he wrote one page for it. Not saying he didn't do anything, not saying his contribution was bad or, you know, small or anything. But anybody who wants to say that I didn't do anything, or that I wasn't involved, or that it wasn't my fucking idea from the goddamn start, can go fly a kite made out of human flesh.